Marco Polo. Marco Polo was born in 1254 and died in 1324. He was a Venetian trader and an explorer. He was an Italian explorer from Venice who traveled through Central Asia and China. His travels were recorded in a book called The Travels of Marco Polo. Marco Polo's mother died after giving birth to him, so he was raised by his aunt and uncle. His father and his uncle were both merchants. After Marco Polo's father, Niccolo, and the uncle, Maffeo, returned home to Venice after traveling as merchants, Niccolo discovered that his wife had died, leaving 15-year-old Marco in his care. Instead of leaving Marco at home in Venice, the two men decided that it would be better to take Marco to China with them. In 1271, they left for their journey. Marco left his home in Venice, Italy in 1271 with his father, Niccolo, and his uncle Maffeo. They were traders who were interested in the riches of the East. 4 years after beginning their journey, the Polos reached China. The Polos also visited India, Persia, and Afghanistan, and crossed the Gobi Desert on their journey. Marco's father introduced his son to China's ruler, Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan asked Marco to explore his kingdom and then to report back to him with what he had observed. Marco spent 24 years working for Khan, traveling to places which Europeans had never visited before, such as Vietnam, Burma, Tibet, and Sumatra. Marco Polo returned with his pockets full of jewels and riches. Polos arrived in China in 1275, when Kublai Khan was China's ruler. Marco described his palace as having walls covered with gold and silver. One wall was so high that a meal might be served for more than 6,000 men. Khan liked Marco a lot and conscripted him into service for the empire. Marco Polo served in many government positions, including as ambassador of the city of Yangzhou. After several years, Khan finally said that the Polos could leave the empire. In order to leave, they were told to escort the princess, who was to marry a Persian king. The princess and the Polos headed southward on the China Sea. It was a long, torturous voyage. Stops were made along the way at Borneo, Sumatra, Ceylon, and other places, until the ships reached the Persian Gulf. After leaving the princess in Persia, Marco, his father, and his uncle finally went back to the Black Sea and headed for home. After being gone for so long, the Polos' appearance had changed drastically, and even their closest friends didn't recognize them. The Polos held a dinner to persuade their old friends who they were, and still people could hardly believe it was really them. During the dinner, Marco opened the coats that they were wearing, and out spilled rubies, emeralds, and diamonds. After seeing the most amazing jewelry collection ever known in Venice, the guests decided to believe that the hosts were who they said they were. Marco Polo, his father, and uncle returned to Venice, where Marco joined the army to fight against the state of Genoa. Marco Polo was captured in 1298 and held in Genoa. While in prison, he dictated his travels to another prisoner, and the Travels of Marco Polo was published in French. He often told of adventures to faraway places such as Cathay. Marco had travelled to Cathay and the Indies, the islands off the China coast. He told stories about meeting Kublai Khan, China's ruler, and seeing amazing things: white bears, black stones that burned, and a place where night lasted all winter and day lasted all summer. Marco Polo's book influenced much of later Europe. It influenced other explorers and even influenced Christopher Columbus.